All right, here we go.
Oh, we're going?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, I won't take a sip then. You always do that to me.
I know.
I'll just move that over. It doesn't matter.
Nah.
I don't even like it that much.
Hey everybody, welcome off the rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
We're back! This is the only comic book review show here on this channel where we take books from the past week, recap and review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. So, got a couple of things to front end this show with. First of all, the show is normally live. If you're listening to this in audio format, thank you very much for catching the audio version of the show, which you can find on comicpop.podbean.com or on iTunes under the Elseworlds Exchange podcast. You get 2 for 1 if you subscribe to the Elseworlds Exchange podcast. The other thing is, when it is live, we are supported by Super Chats. That's the colored boxes that appear in the chat that you spend money to use so that your questions or comments can be read here on the show. That is encouraged, and it is exclusively used when we have the interactive portion of the show because that pays bills that otherwise would be unpaid. And
by our skills.
Yes, that's right. Well, these skills only pay so many bills. That's the thing they don't tell you about. So we do appreciate anyone who does participate, and of course, we do acknowledge them here on the show. Just keep in mind that we try to address them in a kind of like organic fashion so that it's not as interrupting. You know, if we have if Tiffany's making a good point, I'm not going to interrupt her just to ask a question.
Thank you.
That can wait until the next breath
right.
in the sentence.
Sure.
Another thing I wanted to give an update about was if you've never seen our sister show, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it's the show where we take 3 comics and they're united under a theme. I grabbed 3 random books from my long boxes and then we all read them. We recap and review them and let you know like which one's the good, the bad, and the ugly. We did a Ninjas episode recently. And one of them, I believe, won by just a 2-person margin. Zen the Intergalactic Ninja #1, or Young Zen the Intergalactic Ninja. I finally have fulfilled a 20-year-long quest. I've read the other 2 issues in the 3-part series.
Did you really?
Yes. It's the worst thing ever.
Oh.
Young Zen the Intergalactic Ninja #2 and 3 are horrible.
I'm sorry.
And if I had known that, it would have clouded my judgment on that book. But I've been reading Young Zen the Intergalactic Ninja #1 for 20 years. I've always kind of had a soft spot for it. You attained a soft spot for it.
Yes.
But I have to say, Ben and Ethan's instincts were right. That series is goddamn terrible.
Right.
But
what
the
was it
first
up
issue is
against
cute.
Again?
Elektra,
and Ninja?
1996, and Ninjak.
Yeah, see, you can't say their instincts were correct. It's not in comparison to the rest of comic books. It's in comparison to those 2 comic books.
Yes, and those 2 were not great. Although I might have given it, I might have given Elektra a bit of a nod.
Okay, and I do want to. I noticed a couple of this is what's on my shirt.
Yeah.
This was a gift from one of the population. They sent us some shirts on a letters page. It is in fact Calvin and Hobbes as the Will and Lion Cat.
Yeah.
So,
cute concept.
but I'm also chilly, so it's just Lion Cat
kind of creeping out.
Yeah, giving you some stuff over my sweater.
Exactly. Will.i.am Golden just jumped into the super chats just to help us out. Thank you very much, Will. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Adam Osmoa said something, but I think he did it beforehand. I think this was from last week. Just to be safe, I'm going to address it anyway. Gateway Comics in Virginia is a nice place to go. Yeah, that was about our comic book episode on Elseworlds Exchange. There was a very real sense of home when you're there. It also has a very very large collection of toys in a single issue comics. It's in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Nice.
Wow, I have been there a number of times actually, so I will have to stop by there sometime.
Okay.
So let's jump into some books that are on the docket for today.
Yeah, we missed last week. So
we
there
did
was, a bunch of stuff. I was like, wait.
Yeah, wait.
What are we talking about?
What came
this
out
week?
Exactly?
Damn it.
So I read Avengers: No Road Home #2. I also read Avengers: No Road Home #1, but this is the one that came out this week, this past week, from Al Ewing, Jim Zub, and Mark Waid.
3 writers?
Yeah.
Who's drawing it?
That I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, give you
only because I don't have their page up.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Actually, I do have it. Hang on, let me just pull it up.
right there. Paco Medina.
Oh, Paco Medina. Yeah. This is a sequel to Avengers: No Surrender, which was also written by these 3 fine gentlemen, and I think Paco Medina did a bunch of art for that book as well.
Okay, I had to pay attention to this because issue, I think 6 is I'm going to care about that one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw the preview for issue 6 already?
Well, I saw the cover, I think. Or it was 5. I can't remember. 4?
Well, we're on issue
Somewhere
2.
between 4 and 6. This one Conan's showing up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I gotta pay attention.
That's right. Yeah, because you are a big booster for Conan.
I am!
Did you read Savage
Conan.
Sword?
I did.
Okay, we'll have to talk about it.
Okay.
No Road Home, we introduced a new villain, just like we did in No Surrender. No Surrender was the Challenger. Turns out that there was a original Grandmaster, not Endwigast, but rather this other guy. And he became the Challenger because Endwigast punked him out of the title.
Because he challenges people. Is
Exactly.
there
Or at
also
least
the
he challenged-
Tasker?
Well, there's Taskmaster.
Well, yeah, but he's not the Tasker.
No.
He
Well,
tasks you.
You'd need like an elder to be the tasker. But yeah, so that was a fun series, weekly series. It was never late, and it was just it was a straight up love letter to the Avengers. It also introduced Voyager, Valerie Vector, who's a fun new character and the daughter of Endwigast, aka the Grandmaster.
Okay.
By the way, there's also a whole back issues on it, so check that out as well. So yeah, this is fun. I guess it was not nearly as gripping as the first series,
Okay.
but it introduces a new villain named Nyx, or NYX. So Nyx.
NYX?
Yeah.
Marvel has a book named Nyx.
Well, this is about Nyx. And Nyx is a badass god-killing monster person who has like her own team of bad guys. It's basically like a concept of a female Thanos, if you, like from the movies, but you know,
Okay.
only in the most barest sense of the word, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, Nyx slaughters the Olympian gods, so she
Okay.
kills Zeus and Hermes and everybody. And this, of course, catches the ire of Hercules, who forms basically a team of Avengers who goes to like confront her on Olympus. Valerie is watching it all happen while she's protecting, or rather guarding, the Challenger from like escaping and kicking ass.
Okay.
But things get too hot to handle and too cold to hold, so she bails on the Challenger so that he can escape later in the series.
Sure.
And she helps the Avengers like escape and deal with her.
Is that her there?
Yes,
She's a very like Greek goddess sort of look to her.
You know, she's very much rooted in those origins.
Okay.
The whole thing is told from the perspective of Hawkeye, who talks about how like he's lucky and that's really his superpower, is that like he's able to not die when he's working with the Avengers. It's not really a power; it's just more like my luck has not run out yet.
Right.
The Avengers barely escape with their lives before Voyager gets everybody out of there.
Sure.
Later on, Hawkeye awakens in a hospital,
Uh-huh.
and his thumb is missing. And so he's determined that his luck has finally run out.
Oh.
He doesn't need it in order to sling arrows, but it is a thumb,
It's useful.
and it is incredibly useful.
What if someone challenges you to a thumb war?
Right.
You
Well,
lose.
he'll have to use his left hand. But in any
I
event,
think that is his left hand.
no, it's his right hand.
Is it? Oh yeah, it is.
So,
I'm tired.
sorry. So yeah, Clint just is sad about that. In the earlier series, the Hulk, who is now the Immortal Hulk, he's more of a dick, and he's more like mix of like smart manner, douchey Hulk. It's like Mr. Fix-It, but like more hulky.
Okay.
And he confronts Hawkeye when they go and form their team, and he's like, "Hey, we got to settle up." And Hawkeye's like, "We did settle up. I settled up with Bruce. We had this really like terrible issue where like I did this thing, like we had a conversation."
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm Hulk and I'm here, and you did not settle up with me."
But you're here, so get over it.
Right, but like no. So Hawkeye is awoken in his hospital bed. He's missing his thumb. He's crying, and then Hulk shows up and he's like, "Hey, everyone's gone. Time to settle up." And you're like, "Oh no!"
So you're just gonna kill this man?
Yeah, because I'm a jerk. He's petty. This Hulk is very petty.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure this Nyx person won't like use that to their advantage then.
Right. Instead, Rocket Raccoon saves him. I read the preview for the next issue.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Turns out, by the way, Nyx was the Joe Quesada book that has no character
Oh,
named
that's
Nyx.
NYX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say NYX?
Well, it's spelled NYX.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's like bizarre that they would.
Use that name?
Yeah.
I think the name actually has roots.
Well, that NYX stands for something in there, but
Yes.
like, to me, that's always like marketing. Why would you do that? Where it's just like someone wants to look that up. Now they're getting
Oh, I know.
Joe Quesada stuff.
Well, at
It's
least
like,
she doesn't have her own series
why?
called Nyx.
It's true. Until she does.
By the way, NYX is the first comic book debut of X-23.
Oh.
That was when she was a prostitute. Mr. Roboto says, are you or Tiff the Viking still reading Avengers West?
I'm not.
No, and now it's
And-
canceled.
And not because like I didn't. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
You did, I didn't, but
I kind of forgot.
yeah, and everyone did because the book is canceled, and so that's the end of that.
I feel like it's okay because I support Mr. and Mrs. X, so I'm just like, no, it's okay.
The reason she says that is because they're both written by Kelly Thompson.
So I'm just like, no, that one.
And by the way, Mr. and Mrs. X, you should plug that for a little while because it's just a great series,
It is-
and the trade comes out.
That was one of the ones I missed last week to talk about. It's just been a stellar series, honestly. It just continues on in Mojo World, like revealing a little bit more as to what is going on there. And like I hate Mojo so
I know,
so
you find him
much.
so disgusting.
I hate him. But it's just so classic, like X-Men and Rogue and Gambit, and like Gambit's gonna steal something for Spiral so that like because Spiral will get him out of there in that way, and like it's juicy. I'm just like yes.
It's everything that you're looking for in an X-Men book that only has your two favorite X-Men.
That's mine.
Yeah. So in Flywheel, Shyster says, really enjoying Conan 2. Great recommendation.
Thank you. I'm so glad
agree.
you like it.
Tiffany's like the quality barometer for us here on this channel.
Not always, because sometimes there are things where I'm like, hi, this is hot garbage, and I know it is.
It's very
still-
rare that will happen. So what else? What have you read this week that you would want to recommend for everybody here today?
What I want to recommend?
And tell them what happened.
Actually, all of my books this week are Marvel.
I have one DC book.
Okay.
And it's not a high recommendation.
Okay, well, let me just kind of touch base with Doctor Strange here, written by Mark Waid with art by Jesus Saiz. Remember we established this whole, like, there was an accounting firm for magic?
Oh, yeah, I saw the cover for this. It was so stupid. He's like, rejected.
No, here's the thing. I get a lot of people, not a lot of people, I've heard that people are digging this, and I'm not saying don't dig it. I'm just saying...
You don't.
I don't dig it.
No.
And that's just it's a personal taste.
Don't you get it, Tiffany? Magic has a cost, so there must be a magical accountant.
No, I know it has a cost.
Get it?
I know.
It's funny.
You know, and I do have my gripes with this, and like, not like I had the thought of like, oh, this is where the book is going to go. It was after the book was going on and we finished up this arc that I was like, there are a lot of things that he could have done that might have been more interesting.
Right.
So it's not even like it was a letdown in terms of like, I thought it was going one way and it didn't go that way. And
No.
in the aftermath, I was like,
You had a lot of opportunities to do something new.
exactly. Like, for example, like there's this magical accountant. He has to come to terms with his payment for magic. For what? I'm guessing it has to do with damnation, but here's the thing. If you, like, damnation happened. I don't like what it did to Doctor Strange's character, personally. Just every time Mephisto's involved with something, he just ruins a character.
Yeah, he ruined...
just a ruiner!
He ruined the Doom Iron Man book. He ruined Spider-Man. He ruined Doctor Strange.
But I was like, you literally came up with this concept of having Casey come back, pretend to be Doctor Strange. Why wasn't she the one that did damnation then? And Doctor Strange was elsewhere.
That would make sense to get that story, because it was not very highly received, so no one would be... Many people would cry foul that it was a retcon, but who cares? Because then at least it wouldn't be really, really stupid.
Right, but, so literally this book is just a big fight, because Dormammu he's trying to take over, like, everything. He wants to defeat the Fall Team, take over their realm, and also have Earth.
Oh.
And he wants everything. He wants it all, and he wants it to all be Doctor Strange's fault.
Okay.
And, basically Strange, like, postures with him for a while, sends Zelma, Wong, and Kana away to go and find the knowledge of the Ancient One, which the accountant took and has, so that they can use it and help him fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Strange monologues at us internally.
Yes.
For most of the book, where he explains what he's going to do, and then he does those things.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, like, there's, like...
I gotta tell you, Wade did the same damn thing. I mean, like, it wasn't just Wade, but, like, that same exact thing happened in Avengers No Road Home, and it was, like, exhausting. Because it was just, because at the end of it, I don't know about yours, but, like, with Hawkeye's monologue, it was just, like, him reiterating the same freaking point, like, for, like, 22 pages.
There is quite a bit of that, and I think it just comes down to the pacing for me that's the issue, because there could have been something sort of, like... the solution is fairly clever. I get it. I get
Right.
where you're going with this. Cool, whatever. You do pull like a magical like Deus Ex Machina out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Not even out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, yeah, sure. You know how to solve this. This is how it's going to be solved. Fine.
Sure.
But the pacing for me kills it because of the way in which it's like you're not showing it to me as he's monologuing it. He monologues it, and then later on it happens. And I'm
No,
like,
that's weak.
I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, like, Strange is like, I need to, like, you know, give something for Dormammu to, like, falter on, and what I'm going to do is this, and then he does it, where he's just like, you know, Dormammu, if you want to, like, you know, show the Faltine that you're super great, because they go over, like, Dormammu's origins, sort of, kind of, him and Umar, who, of course, is, like, Clea's mom.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't mention that, which is fine, because
Because
she hasn't been really in the book, except the annual, so it's like, why would you?
And Wade, you know, isn't as big a Doctor Strange fan as you are.
So anyway, like, he's like, if you want to take over, if you want to show the Faltine that you're super awesome and they shouldn't have exiled you, why are you going to let them do the thing you wanted to do, which is take over Earth? Sure, you're going to have their dimension, but, like, that's still one for them.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then, like, Strange and the others attack using their own, like, abilities and the, like, split up knowledge of the Ancient One. Mm-hmm. But eventually, like, that power will rip through them, so he, like, disperses that, and Dormammu seemingly is going to win, and then the Ancient One shows up and kicks his butt and sends everybody home, and Doctor Strange doesn't actually really do anything.
Oh.
And then everybody leaves. Again. Like, literally, like, this is one of those stories where at the end of the day, nothing actually happens.
Uh-huh.
Except Strange is home, I guess.
Okay.
So, like, Zelma is like, that was fun. Cool. Hey, Ancient One. Like, having all your memories and all your knowledge in my head, like, that's a lot of information. Like, you should, like, if you died, that would all be gone. Like, you should have someone write it down for you. And he's like, oh, like a biographer. So she goes with him.
Okay.
And then Wong also goes with him.
What?
Without any, like, conversation.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, Strange is like, but hey, Kana, like, I apologize for keeping secrets from you, so you can hang around here. I mean, I also have a little, like, portal thing open, so you can go anywhere you wanted, but, like, I think you should just chill here with me. And she's just like, yeah, no, we step in the right direction, but, like, maybe one day I'll find you. And she just leaves.
Oh.
And then the next, like, the preview.
So they could have set it up where she was going to be the new Rintra?
Right, but no, like, and that's fine. Like, Strange doesn't always have to have an apprentice or a helper or anything like that, and, like, that's not really a big deal, but it was just, you know, like, they're like, oh, who's the accountant's boss?
Oh, I don't care.
The last page reveal, not reveal, but, like, the preview for next, like, issue is an image of Doctor Strange over Galactus.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. Is it possible that Doctor Strange could just handle a small problem?
No.
Okay, cool. It's not for me, and that's okay.
Right.
If it is for you, enjoy it. Like, honestly, enjoy it. Because, like, Doctor Strange books are few and far between. We've had this, like, unprecedented, but we've had this really great
It's a renaissance of Doctor Strange.
It is. It's a great time period where we've had so many Doctor Strange books and arcs and different writers on them. So enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
Because if this doesn't keep selling well, it's going to be canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Until he gets another movie.
Mm-hmm. Then they'll bring out another Doctor Strange miniseries.
Right, so...
Where the hell is that other series? The Jerry Duggan series.
Yeah, right?
Whatever happened to
I gotta look
that?
up to that. I might have just missed a bunch of issues, honestly. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
Cool. I read Return of Wolverine number 5. It's the last series of the Return of Wolverine from Charles Soule. Steve McNiven clearly spent the last 4 issues drawing this one.
Oh, does it look great?
It does look great. I mean, it's not...
So I know you haven't really enjoyed the art in this
No,
one?
Declan Shalvey was doing the last bunch of issues. It was Charles Soule and Steve McNiven for issue 1, which looked great.
Yeah.
And then Declan Shalvey, who just doesn't draw Wolverine really good. Like, he does a really good job with stuff like Moon Knight and other books. This book just looked really horrible.
Okay.
And so I can't... Like, I could not recommend it back when it was done by the two of them.
Right, and even when that's collected in trade, that's going to be a...
It's going to look really bad.
Yeah.
It's going to look really weird. You're going to be reading it and be like, what the hell happened here?
Mm-hmm.
This issue looks really good, but, like, who cares? Wolverine comes back. He finally gets to the bottom of everything. There's this crazy new character who can resurrect people who died and then inhabit their bodies and puppeteer them. She thinks because in a previous issue she sent Wolverine, like, Wolverine opened the Berserker, and, like, almost killed the X-Men, and she's like, she reveals that she's, like, on a satellite orbiting Earth. So Wolverine goes there, and so the whole story takes place on a satellite. The chapter's called Heaven. Get the conclusions there, and Wolverine discovers that, like, she is part of, like, she's doing that thing that every, like, it's weird. I've seen, like, I couldn't name it for you, but there must be a trope, because it's the same plot as Spawn Batman, where there's a woman who wants to save the Earth by killing all the people in it.
Right.
And so she's got this doomsday weapon that's going to fall from the sky and destroy everything. And I'm like, wow, really again? But, I mean, not really again, but it's more like, really? We're going to do that? But, yeah, so that was the plot. She resurrected some, like, really smart people to help facilitate her plan. And so they enact the plan. So Wolverine discovers that it's, like, bad news, and she's like, you should join me. And he's like, no. And so she's like, well, then you have to die. And so she, like, releases this crazy pathogen into the air of the area they're in the satellite. And he gets, like, horrible warts, and then jumps out the window, and he, like, climbs along the side of the satellite, and he crashes back in, and then he threatens the scientists, and the scientists are like, okay, we'll help you. There's apparently, like, there's a number of satellites around the Earth, and they're all gonna, like, kill everybody so that, like, the Earth can be run by, like, dead puppets that she will control. And everything will be cool, you know, but dead. And that's the plan. And, like, so Wolverine, like, just tells them, get rid of the satellites.
Why
or
would
else...
they be okay with that?
Well, because, like, they're alive now because of her, and, like, they're allowed to keep themselves, and Wolverine is involved with her resurrection powers.
Okay.
So, like, they feel indebted to her, but they also listen to Wolverine, and they blow up all the satellites. Then Wolverine has to take out the main space station because it's got the last satellite in it, of course. And so he crashes into the ocean and then goes to the Xavier Institute.
That's the return of Wolverine?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
And it looks really
Hi.
good, but, and the other thing was cool. It was fun because, like, he's fighting his way through to get to the last room to blow up the satellite, and all the different Wolverines in his head who are behind cages and everything, or in jails, they're all like, come on, I'm good at this one, I'm good at this one, I can help you. Like, you got Scratch, and Hero, and Soldier, and Secret Agent, and he just opens all the cages except for the Berserker. So he gets all of his Wolverine back.
Right.
And the Berserker's like, I'm still here, and you'll never get rid of me. One day I'll get out. Wolverine's like, not today, though. And so Wolverine's Wolverine again.
Okay. Wait,
like,
I thought he was out. I'm sorry.
No, he let the Berserker out, but then, like, every time he lets one out, they go back into the cage. So that he can, like...
Oh, so he's just leaving the other ones out, and, like, the Berserker will just stay in there.
Exactly.
Until one day.
And she makes a hilarious point where she's, like the main villain. She says, like, how, like, you attacked the X-Men, how will they ever forgive you? And I'm like, he does it all the time.
Right? Yeah.
So it's just like...
There's a whole book series based on that. We all love that Wolverine.
Yeah. So, Return of Wolverine #5 was fun, and if you want to see Wolverine, like, kick ass and take names in a very cinematic way, I think you're going to enjoy it.
Okay.
I think the series is a waste, so, you know, you could really, like, it's fun, but, like, who cares?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I recommend.
Sure.
That's my review for
Nice.
Return of Wolverine.
Excellent.
I was like, ooh, it finished. Let me see how it goes.
Okay.
What about you?
I read Black Widow #2. I read Black Widow #1.
I do remember that.
Written by Jen and Sylvia Saska, the Saska sisters.
Yes.
With art by Flaviano.
Cool.
I just like saying that, I guess. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
You know, Black Widow's back. She was having a hard time, you know, coming to terms with who she was and, like, needing to be violent. And so she went to the one place on Earth that she knew that she could be violent and, like, basically very much do, like, a Wolverine kind of thing where it's just like, I gotta kill.
Yeah.
I'm going to Madripoor. So she goes to Madripoor where she finds out about this ring of violent pay-per horror sort of viewing on the internet.
Gotcha.
Where, like,
okay.
Girls of all ages are taken, and then, like, people pay to have things done to them.
Yes.
And she's like, okay, this'll do.
Oh yeah,
Got
I'll kill
it.
all them.
Yeah, nailed it.
That's a Punisher book, but okay.
Yeah, right. But it's
Black Widow.
But it's Natasha, so she's doing
So
it.
she'll kick.
But, like, what I kind of like about this is that, like, part of her just wants to do it because they're scum, but part of her's just like, but I just want to kill.
Exactly.
And, like, if I could put a nice bow on it,
Yeah, that's like a dicey message, but like
I know.
I see where you're
But
going.
we'll see if that's actually what it ends up being.
Yeah.
Knowing like something very little, there are people out there who know the Saska sisters much more so than I do.
Yes.
This book is like a fun B-movie-ish noir kind of hyper-violent story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, she kicks ass, takes names, monologues, the whole thing.
Yep.
And like there's something very satisfying about it without necessarily saying that like, wow, this is like an incredible book and like, you know, like blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, but there is something satisfying to it.
Right.
And it might just be like one of those things you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, like, there's a certain type of reader who wants like a Punisher book, and there's a certain type of reader who might like really want to read about like Natasha just straight up murdering bad guys who deserve it.
Sometimes I want to watch a horrible like horror movie.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that's what this is, but sometimes I just want that. I know it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is bad, but like there's just all different types of, you know, stories and reasons to read them. And this book, literally, she just like the first few pages are just her having an epic fight that had started in the last issue where like a bunch of guys rolled up and they're like, we're gonna kick your ass, and she's just like, oh yeah,
sure.
And she like wrecks them.
Does it look good?
It like the art's pretty good, it's fine.
Okay.
But she wrecks them, and then like she takes them and like straps them to the car they rode in on, and then like she starts driving around because her plan is that she like she's wearing an eye patch and she's like kind of like a veil net thing on her face so that people don't know exactly who she is.
Sure.
But like you have to get people to talk about this type of thing,
right? So
that like loose lips kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like
you need to leave somebody alive,
right? Well, not even just that. She wants the people of Madripoor
to see,
and to start talking about it because then someone's going to give something up.
Yeah.
So then we see this fun sequence of her like infiltrating different parts of Madripoor, listening in on things until she finds the right person.
Yeah.
And she ends up finding out that there are these like encrypted key things that they use, kind of like when people have I think Blizzard does this for your account, where you can get this little like device that lets you encrypt your account. So yes, it's something like that, because like these guys wipe everything, start anew every time they do one of these sessions.
They have to, yeah.
These keys let them help them find their users.
Okay, cool.
The users.
Do they fight for the users?
No, but she does. Or she fights against the users.
Right.
So anyway, she ends up grabbing the key, giving it to some guy who starts trying to hack into like whatever.
Yeah.
Finds out that there's this like guy. Oh no, she doesn't find anything about that. She like they're waiting to see one of these like live streams go up because like all the videos they have of it now are all like re-uploaded. Basically, there's no like live version.
There's no
So like they don't know how long
they've already happened.
Then this old woman, this like freaking gypsy woman, shows up and it's like, I'm looking for the angel who like helps others, and like the people with Natasha are like, this is clearly a trap, but I think she kind of wants it to be.
Yeah.
So she goes with this woman, and it's not. She like goes, and this woman's like daughter is there, and like she has no hands.
Oh.
And she like washed up on the shore, and like she was one of the girls that was like dumped afterwards.
Ugh.
And so like it's a really like terrible but like well done sequence of like Natasha asking her to tell her what happened, and instead of the girl telling her, we just see panels of things.
That's awesome.
And Natasha's like, got it. So she goes to find the new prince of Madripoor, and he's having a big party on his yacht. And she's like, these got to be here. And like Sabretooth, Taskmaster, and Baron Zemo show up.
Okay.
And like they're like, Taskmaster is like, all right guys, here we go. Like he's totally not himself for some reason, and Sabretooth and Baron Zemo are like at each other's throats, and like Sabretooth's like, oh, or Taskmaster's like, hang on guys, why don't we get some like drinks in us and see where the night takes us? Hang on everybody. I was like, what? So she sees that one of like the guy, this like one of the guys that Zemo has with him has a tattoo, and that tattoo is what the girl described.
Okay. And
so she's like, got it. And so she goes to take the shot, and she gets like hit in the back of the head.
Oh no!
And it's Madame Mask.
Oh, cool.
And she and Madame Mask are gonna have a big fight.
Nice.
And I was like,
good use of Madame Mask.
Right? Madame Mask shows up.
Neat.
There's one of 2 books I read today that had Madame Mask in it.
That's really weird.
I was like, what is happening?
I don't know.
Anyway, kind of like I said, fun book, but you have to be looking for this type of, you know.
Right. That's fair. In the super chats, Adam Asimov says, "What? No, I wasn't first. I'm a failure forever." No, man, come on. You were first actually because you had a super chat that was left over from last week.
Yes.
Orphic says, "Hi, have you guys checked out Umbrella Academy on Netflix yet?"
I haven't.
Me either.
We just didn't have a chance.
And it's not for me anyway.
But for me, it is for me, and I want to, like, that's when this becomes harder, when it's like something that just maybe I want to watch or just something you want to watch. It's like, but we're watching stuff together. I'm not going to make you do that. I did make you watch the first episode of Doom Patrol, though. So.
Yes.
Anyway.
And all of Sabrina.
Yes.
So my only DC book this week is Nomi by Brian Michael Bendis and David F.
Naomi?
Walker with pencils by Jamal Campbell. Yeah. I went to high school with a girl named Nomi.
Yeah, but
spelled the same way.
Oh, I think it's Naomi.
I'm sure it is. I like to call her Nomi. The girl I knew was like a fairy person. So Naomi is a book about nobody, but they're really somebody. Who are they? Let's find out in this series. And that's the book. The first issue was meet Nomi and her wacky friends, who are all going to be put on the back burner so Nomi can find out what her mysterious past is all about. And it'd be really interesting if she didn't have one. But she does. But we're playing on the trope of, like, I believe I'm special because I'm not. And Superman, like, fought Mongul in a fight that would never have happened at this point, in her hometown of nowhere. And she's obsessed with it.
Okay.
She's like, oh, that was awesome. And everyone in the town is kind of, like, excited about this, like, 15-second brawl.
Right.
As they, like, bounced between their towns. But Nomi won't let it go. And it's, like, all-consuming, and it makes her, alienate her friends and her family, and she's talking to her therapist, and her therapist is like, yeah, this is called the Superman complex, but not the Superman complex that actually exists in real life.
Right.
This is a Superman complex that Bendis invented because he didn't know there really was a Superman complex that actually exists.
No, maybe he did, and he was like, but in the world where there is a Superman...
We gotta have a different thing. That doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, she's basically obsessed with Superman, or obsessed with being special and a superhero. And there's, like, a mechanic who's big and looks like a character. Like, he's not just like a big guy, he looks like a reformed supervillain of some kind. And he's like, he's nameless and blah, 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 but he's like this mechanic, this auto mechanic, who hears Naomi is, like, begging people to tell her more about her, like, mysterious past, because she was adopted. And, so, apparently, there was a superhero fight that took place, you know, however old she is ago, and so... the biker says that was the day that she was adopted, was the same day that happened or something. And she's like, tell me more. And he's like, no. And that's this issue. And so she has a long, boring conversation with her parents, where her parents are, like, both fun and annoying at the same time. And then she sneaks into the auto mechanics business while he's not there, or at night. And she finds a photo of him, the auto mechanic, with a woman who looks just like what Nomi's mom would look like.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And the auto mechanic is like, he shows up, of course, and he's like, oh, like, I wish you hadn't have done that. And you're like, oh no, dun dun dun. And, like, they won't tell you, like, Bendis is really, like, burying the lead on, like, what her name is. Like, Nomi has, like, a last name, but we won't tell you what it is because that would give away everything. It's like the Beatrix Kiddo thing of Kill Bill. We're like, let's bleep it, even though it would come up in conversation. Like,
yeah.
So they're doing that. She doesn't have, like, a code name or anything. It's just that Naomi is just her first name.
Okay.
Anyway, the book is frustratingly great looking.
Yeah, I saw it's penciled, inked, colored, all of it by the same guy.
Yep, Jamal Campbell is new hotness.
Okay.
He is so goddamn great. And it's really too bad it's
Well,
on
hey,
this
but,
book.
like, this could take him other places, you know what I mean?
No. When Naomi is canceled, this guy's going places.
Right.
They're probably going to give him some obnoxious event, and he'll, like, overextend himself, and then you'll never see him again.
No.
But this artist is great, and Naomi is likable. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's all, you know what I
Okay.
mean? But that's all. Like, it's if you are interested in, like, a teen drama book, this might be up your alley, especially if you want it to be about, like, a superhero kind of thing.
Right.
Otherwise, nah. Like, it's just kind of like, who cares?
Right.
I think it's really, like, nobody else could have gotten away with calling this book by this person's first name.
Right.
You know, like, this book, if it was a boy, it'd be just Steve.
Well,
and you're like, oh, what's
you
Steve going to be
could
doing?
in an Image book.
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
And it's... Well, like, it's almost like it almost is like an Image book pitch where they're like, what if a guy like Superman crashed into the thing and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, what if it just is Superman? Like, what if DC just didn't care about having Vertigo and Young Animal and all these other imprints that we could put it, just stick it in here.
So dead.
Yeah, all of it's dead. Or Black Label. So Naomi is fine. I recommend it in terms of like those things.
Right.
If you want the best looking book at DC, you probably want to check out Naomi at least once.
Wow.
It's so good. It's like, I'm like, oh my god, I've never seen such beautiful inanity. So anyway, jumping into the super chats again, Orphic says, oh yeah, he said that already. But he also said, on that Naomi book, don't you think that the way the auto mechanic grabbed her should have snapped her neck? I found the art good, but awkward sometimes. No. The situations were awkward. Fair enough. I mean, like, not really. I didn't really think about it. I don't care. Like, he picks her up by her head and, like, puts her outside.
I think he also just meant that the situations were...
Oh, yeah, no, they were. Like, well, everything in this book is awkward. Like, her friends, she promised her friends that she'd have a sleepover, and then she, like, instead investigates whether she's a superhero or not. And so her friends are mad at her. And you're like, oh, cool.
Okay.
Babysitter's Club comics. But whatever. Like, but if that's your cup of tea, you're going to dig the hell out of Naomi.
Tea.
Bingo. Mr. Roboto says, would it not be the Iron Man complex? It'd be funny. I feel like Marvel might have an issue with it. Jacob Baker says, massive fan of the channel. Finally catching it live. Jacob, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. So yeah. Nermy. You know what it is? It's just she thinks she's so special. And it's like, it's such a perfect encapsulation of what it's like to be a teenager.
Yeah, you think...
Which I think is really like, it's to his strength. Yeah. She's like, I am special, but it'd be great if she wasn't. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if it's like, no, you're not.
Maybe her last name's Skino.
What is that?
That's Usaki's last name.
I'm like, why do I know that name? Damn it. It's a Sailor Moon reference.
She's a magical girl.
DC's Magical Girls? Now I'm on board. If that was the pitch...
I pitched that last time, too, we did this show.
You did,
it's
that's
like,
right.
DC's Magical Girls, where is the trick?
That'd be cool. That'd be cooler than what Naomi, I think, is going to turn out to be.
Imagine the Green Lanterns being like, what is this? Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Stop spinning.
Yeah. No. Oh. But yeah, so there you go. Naomi. But it'd be great if she... It's the same... It's a Sky High thing again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if she found out she wasn't special, but then she's like, no, screw it. Anyone can be anything. Batman, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, willpower, and becomes something. Yeah. But like in Sky High, the kid has no powers, right? And everyone's like, you're useless because you don't have any powers. And then what he could do is the whole movie is him studying and training, and then like he builds like a suit, right? Like that shows powers, you know, and they're like, oh, like he has powers after all. And it turns out like, no, I don't have powers, but I replicated them using this like thing.
Yeah.
And it's like he turns out to be Batman. And it's like, you don't need powers to be super, and that's the theme. But they never do that. Ever. Anyway.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Naomi. Check it out.
Or not, I guess. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Would you have a book?
Yeah. I know you thought you were... I was like, waiting. You go, what do you got? I was like, okay, I'll wait.
Proceed.
I read Old Man Quill.
I remember you being like, why do they do this?
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm going to check it out.
Sure.
So I picked up the first issue because I missed that. Whoops. And then I read the second issue. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. I've got nothing to
complain about.
Honestly, I've got nothing to complain about this.
Nice.
This at all. It's written by Ethan Sachs. With art by Robert Gill.
Okay, I don't know any of those people.
I don't know either of those people. The art's fun looking. But that being said, the story, the last issue, I'll try to recap that briefly. It's in the future on Spartax. Peter's in charge.
Sure. I think that I remember that being the pitch. Yeah.
He has a family.
Okay.
The Church of Truth, which is like this like
I've heard that
galactic
name before.
force.
Yes.
Is like against Spartax. There's an overwhelming issue with it. They're going to come and destroy Spartax. So Peter's like, we'll take the fight to them.
Okay.
Everyone's warning against it. He's like, no, it'll be fine. I'm a hands-on kind of leader. We're going to go do this. Like, his family's like, shouldn't we evacuate? And he's like, no, you'll be fine. I'm going to go take the fight to them. It's cool.
Yeah.
He goes, takes the fight to them, gets in, like, you know, really, like, riles everybody up. There's, like, some priestess person there. And he's like, okay, you got to stop attacking us. We win. And she's like, well, I mean, no. Because our dark god already made it to your planet.
Was it the Magus?
It's just says that all they say is their dark god.
Oh, okay.
And
so they'll do that later.
yeah, and like when he gets back to Spartax, there's like a big like Ankh burned into the surface, and his family's dead.
Oh.
And so then we like fast forward to him like basically living outside of Spartax, I believe, like on a ship, and like he's like holograms of his family, and like he's sad, and he had put himself into cryosleep, waiting for his delivery of alcohol to show up.
Okay.
Because he's an alcoholic at this point. The computer wakes him up too early, and it's because the Guardians are there. And they're like, we have a mission. The mission is to stop the Church of Truth because they're spreading, and so we have to put an end to them. And like, it's Drax, Gamora, Rocket, and Mantis.
Okay.
Mantis had a vision, and Mantis is kind of losing it a little bit. She's having a hard time like keeping things straight at this point.
How's Rocket still alive?
What?
How's Rocket still alive?
He's old.
Yeah, raccoons don't last that long.
Yeah, but he's alive, but he's old, and it's like he's crotchety, and he's mad at Quill because Quill left.
Yeah.
He's like, you went and had your fairy tale family, and like you left your real family.
Oh.
And like he's like, and to be fair, Quill's like, and where were you when I needed you?
Right.
And he's like, well, where were you when we... You know what I mean? Like, it's back and forth. Like, he put out a call to everybody, to the Avengers. Nobody came, obviously, because of what was going on Earth. Not that Quill knew that, but, like, so he's mad at everybody.
Yeah.
So they realize that Earth is on the docket, and, like, there's a relic that they have to get, so they go to Earth, and we find that it's the Wasteland.
Like fucking Old Man Logan? Oh, shit.
And, so, like, they show up... we get treated to, like, Doom's in charge at this point. So it's been Red Skull, and then he fell, and then they go over the history of who was in charge. And Spider-Woman was in charge for a while. And, okay, so okay, so in the area they're in, Magneto was in charge, and then he got kicked out. And then Kingpin was in charge because he killed Magneto.
Okay.
And Spider-Woman killed Kingpin.
Yes.
And now Dr. Doom's in charge.
Okay.
And it's so funny because, like, at the beginning of this, and, like, it's actually, I thought this was really well done in this issue. There's a Doom bot who's, like, passing out Doom meals, their rations.
Okay.
And he's just saying, like, Doom will save you. Doom is here to feed you, that kind of thing. And there's, like, 2 guards next to him.
Yeah.
And, like, some guy gets a little rowdy, and then, like, another dude wearing a Fantastic Four shirt tries to attack and, like, burn the Doom bot. The Doom bot shorts out and starts killing everybody. And then after everyone's dead, goes back to its programming and just starts throwing the rations out again. I'm like, that is so messed up.
Yeah, that's great.
So, basically, they're trying to find this relic and figure out what's going on Earth, because they're like, we're meant to save this planet, and it's already ruined.
Yeah.
Okay, but we still have to stop the Church of Truth, so fine, whatever. They go to some town that's been decimated. And, like, there's, like, heads floating in fountains kind of thing. Drax sees some smoke far off in another town. They go off to see what's up there. And when they get there, the great-grandchildren of the Wrecking Crew are there.
Okay.
And they're giving the town a hard time. They work for Doom. They're like, you owe him tribute. And they're like, but, like, Spider-Woman, like, took our stuff. And, like, it's been really hard. Like, there's, like, been, like, a drought, basically.
Okay.
And they start, like, trying to hurt the townsfolk.
Yeah.
The Guardians show up and start kicking ass, except for Quill. Not until there's, like, a little girl in danger. And, like, he ends up shooting the guy who is the great-grandson of Pile Driver.
Okay.
It's like, you're a harness up against, like, to the great Pile Driver that my great-grandfather was. And Rocket's like, I don't know how to tell this guy that his dad was kind of a...
Nobody cares about Pile Driver.
He's kind of a loser. I mean, like, we're going to kill him anyway, so I mean...
right.
But, you know, Quill still has, like, some issues that he's dealing with in terms of his family, of course. We do see Doom is running things, and his right-hand man is Madam Mask.
Ah!
I'm like, what is going on?
That's weird.
But, like, Doom doesn't say anything, so it's, like, difficult to tell what they're doing with Doom right now. Like, whether or not he's actually alive, whether or not it's, like, a puppet, I don't know, and she's just in charge of everything. But they're aware of the fact that a ship showed up, They think it might be the Kree or the Skrull. In the previous issue, the Guardians ran into the Brood in like an alien style like moment where they're on a ship.
Yay! That's great.
It's really, really cool. But yeah, overall, like the series is fun. There's one of the sad moments in the first issue comes about like when Rocket's like talking to Quill about like how he wasn't there for them. He's like, "Where were you for Groot?" And he's holding like a piece of wood, and that's all he has of him. And I was like, "That's really sad." Like Rocket's just sad, and you can definitely feel like the movie's influence a little bit on some of their relationships, but I think you can also feel the Abnett run a little bit in there too.
Okay, that's nice.
You know what I mean? So like I like the way the characters are written. I like sad Peter Quill. I think it's done really well. He actually kind of reminds me of Kurt Russell in this, but not in a way in which they're doing something on purpose. It's just something about his look that I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And like Rocket's great, Drax is great. He's not like peace-loving Drax or anything like that. He's just he gets into a tussle. Some guy kind of gets the better of him. Rocket tries to help him out, and Drax is like, "I'm not done with him. Knock it off, Rocket. All right, this is my fight." So I'm interested to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
it's fun. You know,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Is Doom wearing a blue cloak?
No, he's wearing green.
Oh.
Why?
It's $29.99.
Oh yeah, no.
Be a fun little homage.
No, I'm glad he's not. No, he actually looks worse for wear.
That's great. I like Ravage Doom.
Yeah, like he looks like. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
He's just like, ugh.
No, that's Doom.
Yeah, it's just Doom.
That's dope.
But like, he doesn't do anything, and Madame Mask speaks for him. So I'm like,
So it's probably a Doom bot that she's using.
It could be. I don't know.
I read Venom number 11. It was written by Donny Cates with art by Joshua Cassara. In it, we change up the origin of Venom a little bit. A lot of it. A lot of revelations in this. In a previous story, previous issues, we find out that like Venom has a nephew, and like
Venom does, or
Eddie Brock, and it turns out that like the symbiote has been affecting Eddie Brock's mind since the beginning, like since the church.
Okay.
And the retcons are aplenty. We find out that like the symbiote like loves Eddie like a woman.
Okay.
We find out that like
does the symbiote have like like male female?
You know, it shouldn't.
I guess it's neutral.
I remember it being a woman, and then I remember it being nothing. So. And I don't care.
Right.
Once they named them, once they started calling them Clintars, I was like, I don't give a shit about symbiotes anymore.
Right,
and I completely dropped interest. But in this issue, we find out that like Eddie kept getting cancer like throughout his tenure as a character.
Well, I mean, I feel like a symbiote might, I don't know.
Yeah, well, like the idea was that it was like tapping his adrenaline or something like that. But like, it turns out that like he never had cancer. That like the symbiote was affecting his physiology to make it look like he had cancer every time he was thinking about leaving the symbiote. And the symbiote was just like was just tricking Eddie and gaslighting him into like thinking he needed the symbiote in order to survive.
That's messed up.
Yeah. And then it turns out that the symbiote also was like affecting his memories to the point where like it invented an uncle and like this other like part of his family, and that his nephew is actually his actual biological son. And that Eddie really does have like a real son, and the symbiote didn't want him to know about him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't his mom?
Well, we don't get into that yet.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty cool. Like. I kind of dug it. I was like, this is fun. And like, yeah, well, and the maker's involved, Reed Richards from the Alternate Universe, and he's like,
really?
Yeah, and he's trying to like, he's got Eddie and the symbiote, and he's like, so Eddie and the symbiote are like kind of stuck together for a second, so like, they're kind of like in the mindscape or whatever, talking to each other, and symbiote's like you need like, okay, I'm gonna be straight with you, but like you gotta stay with me for now because things are gonna get like really messed up. And you're going to find out some shit about what I did, but you need me because, like, the God of Symbiotes is coming. He's going to mess everything up, and you're going to need me, but, like, be cool.
You need me.
You need me, though, but I'm going to be cool with it, and it's, like, it's very cool. I was really enjoying it. Like, I was like, this is kind of cool.
That's great.
Like, not enough for me to, like, become a Venom fan, but, like, enough for me to be like, this is not a waste of my time.
That's good.
The art was really good. It's actually fun to see, like, classic images of Venom but like today,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like these are 90s images of Venom, but in today's style with today's sensibilities.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see it because it's so different from the way it used to be.
Right.
But it's also got similar like visuals that you would expect.
Okay.
Which I kind of dug. That's it. Just
Okay.
like it's kind of neat, and I'm okay with it. Apparently, like they also must have retconned this before I got in, but like that Eddie was like they're saying that Eddie was going to kill himself in the church because he had cancer, and I'm like, no, he was going to kill himself in the church because he was ruined by Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
They're trying to separate his origins, I guess, from
It feels
Spider-Man?
like that.
That's
it
weird.
feels really, really like that.
Huh. That's weird.
So
That's
I don't
really
know.
weird. Okay.
Yeah, but I dig it, and I thought it was kind of fun. Bear in mind, I haven't read the last 10 issues of Venom,
So,
so
all right.
I really don't. I can't speak to that, but I did enjoy what I read, and it was kind of neat. Like the retcons are fine. I'm not like the world's biggest Venom fan in the world. Like the changes for me, I'm like whatever. If it has to be Eddie,
Right.
then we'll do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
You know, but I dug it, like because they kept like they didn't care about Eddie to the point where like when JMS was writing Spider-Man, Eddie tried to kill himself like again, and when he went to the hospital, his name was Edwin Brock because JMS didn't know that his name was Edward. He just knew him as Eddie, and so he's like, oh Eddie, well like it can be short for anything. I'll make it Edwin, and the editors didn't pay attention or care. Like nobody noticed or cared to the point where like it was drawn by like Ron Garney on the bed. I'm like,
Oh my god.
but JMS did that a bunch of times.
Yeah, I
Like-
remember that.
Like when he named Aunt May, he's like Aunt May, they've never done Aunt May's maiden name. I'm gonna make it Fitzgerald, and everyone's like, it's Riley. It's Riley because that's Ben Riley's name. Holy crap! How'd you freak that up? So anyway.
Because you just did.
And then for the trades, I think they fixed it.
Okay.
But anyway, jumping in the super chats really quick.
Sure.
Nigel Red says, "Nah, Kate said Venom goes by they them, but I think most of the other portrayals of them as a couple were as a guy."
Okay.
Fair enough. That's your interpretation. So
Wait, that was the only super chat?
no,
No.
Illuminati says, "Has Madame Mask appeared in the MCU?"
Peggy Carter show.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
It was really cool.
It's really too bad. And they could have, if they had any relationship, they could have freaking fixed it. Because when she shows up, there's a time vortex that opens up. I'm like, oh, perfect. Put her in the time vortex. Bring her out now. You got a nice, cool MCU villain in that actress and Madame Mask. And they don't do it.
No, they don't. They just straight up.
I think they killed her.
Yeah. There's also one above that too.
Sorry about that. DMOMO says plug
Momo.
Demomo. Sorry. Plug for for last week's Elseworlds. Start up your own comic shop, sell so we can buy your recommendations directly from you. I know it's not that easy. I appreciate it. You're right, but I would love to do it. We tried really hard to work with Comixology to be able to just be like, here's the books we recommend. Buy them directly through us to Comixology, and they were not having it. But I would love to have like a store and sell you your books. And I don't know how to make that happen, but we'll talk about it. I want to keep that in the back of my head because I would love to make that a thing. So thank you very much, Demono.
Nice. Before we get into anything else, I just want to mention real quick that since we missed last week's show, just wanted to point out that Mark Miller fans and fans of Magic Order, that's over now. Issue 6 came out. We're done. I was actually just opening it up to take a quick look at it.
Oh, okay.
When I opened it up, Comixology told me that there was an updated version of this book, and when I liked to download it, I was like, ask me later.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Now I need to know what it is.
I have to find out, but I'm not going to download it just yet. I'm not going to talk too much about it because this is an end of this series, because this was a mini-series.
Yeah.
I'm honestly not too sure how I feel about the ending of this series because I can't say anything without ruining anything. But I am looking forward to seeing this in live action.
Okay.
And then I know we briefly mentioned earlier the Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah.
Which I did read.
That's right.
I did read that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna totally talk about this. And then
Why
we ended
not?
up shooting that day, and then
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
So like Savage Sword of Conan did not happen.
Yeah.
It is a very different Conan book in a way from Jason Aaron's. Jason Aaron's is steeped in a lot of lore and background, and while this is certainly like not a bad story at all, it's just a different story. It's written by Jerry Dugan with art by Ron Garney.
Yep.
It looks great. Looks very different than the other book, but like just kind of letting you know, hey, these are two different books.
Yeah.
It's totally okay. It's literally just taking a story out of Conan's life, and instead of doing what Aaron's doing, which is like, this issue goes over this, like, here's a story from this part of his life, and it's an overarching story. This is just a standard, like, this is how comic books work. This is issue 1, this is issue 2, this is issue 3, without, like, any sort of, like, encapsulating bookends to it.
Sure.
Like, this is the story you're reading right now, and that's it.
Okay.
And it just takes place on the high seas. It's interesting. Like, Conan, like...
Pirate Conan!
Conan ends up, like, on the seas, basically.
Okay.
Like, stranded out there. A ship went down. He was on it. Like, literally the image we see of him was him on, like, a set of, like, wood, some planks and such, chewing on a shark. He had battled a shark and he ate it.
Naturally.
But the sea was going to claim him.
Nope.
Or was trying to.
Yeah.
A slaving ship comes along, grabs him. When he looks up, he sees them as skeletons.
Okay.
It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sweet.
And
Are they?
Yeah, they're cursed.
Good, okay.
They pull him up. They drop him into the underhold area where the other slaves are. There's a guy down there who just wants to be free. So he's just like, hey, if I take care of this one who's going to definitely fetch a high price, let me join your crew. Like, that's fine. So, like, they chain him and Conan together.
Yeah.
It's revealed that they have this, like, box with a serpent on it. A cursed god box. It doesn't matter. Conan regains his health, escapes. The ship is ruined. They're like the pirate guys are. I think one of the captain isn't necessarily a skeleton. I think they can change shape, so he turns into a serpent man at one point. And so
cool.
Conan fights a serpent man while the ship's on fire. He grabs the box because he's just like, there must be plunder in here. I need this. He also grabs the key for the shackles that he and the other guy are attached to. The other guy's like, we should just go. Let's not. We don't have to kill this guy.
Right.
We should just leave.
Conan's like, nope.
Conan's like, no, I gotta plunder.
I gotta
kill him and I gotta plunder it. Mm-hmm. So Conan drops the key. So the two of them are stuck together, and the guy's like, no! So they get into a life raft, and that ends up going down as well. They end up on an island. When Conan opens the box, it's nothing but dust and sand.
Right.
But then his third eye is opened, and he sees a magical map in his mind, and he says, Crom!
Oh.
And they're going on a treasure hunt.
Sweet.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fun. It's not the same as as what Aaron is doing. It's still a fun book, though.
Okay, cool. Is there room in the world for two Conan books?
I think so, because I think they're doing two different things in a sense. They're still telling the story of Conan in two different ways, and I think some people are going to really gravitate towards the Dugan version of this.
Sure.
So.
Oh yeah, totally. That's cool.
Conan.
I'm
going to keep reading them both for as long as I can handle it.
I guess we should jump into the recommendations for books that are coming out this week. DC Comics, Detective Comics number 999. The wrap up of of that arc is finally coming.
Okay.
And it's going to be really cool.
It's coming.
Peter J. Tomasi writes a great Batman. We all know it. That arc is fantastic. So you owe it to yourself to read those stories. And this is it. And then the next week it'll be 1000.
Excellent.
And if you're at Zap Comics, I'll probably go to the midnight release. So
yeah,
swing by Wayne, New Jersey, and we'll see you there.
Right? That's really exciting, honestly.
Exactly. What was it? In DC, I think that's it.
Not for me.
Oh, no.
Let's not leave DC real quick.
I won't.
Sandman Trade Paperback Volume 5, titled A Game of You. The 30th anniversary edition of this is coming out.
Finally.
So if you're a collector of various volumes like I am, as it turns out, like I'm just like, oh, I don't have that one. Ooh, that's the original coloring of this, blah, blah, blah. This might be something right up your alley. I know it is for me, so I would definitely check that out.
Nice.
I don't know if there was anything else. I was kind of scrolling through this. I don't see anything else.
I don't see Doomsday Clock on this list.
True. I also don't see Justice League Dark, so...
It's not. It's Odyssey that comes out this week.
Yeah.
Also, Heroes in Crisis comes out, which, of course, I'll never read or recommend. In terms of Marvel, what was it? Age of X-Men Extremis is coming out, which is kind of funny. I'm not going to necessarily buy it, but I just think it's kind of cute. Amazing Spider-Man 16 I'm going to pick up because I love that series. No Road Home number 3. This is going to be my litmus test. If I enjoy what happens in 3, I'll keep reading the series. If not, I'm probably going to skip it until the trade comes out because I like it.
Or you'll hear about it when Conan shows up.
Yes,
I'll be I gotta figure out what's happening.
You'll have to read the whole damn thing.
I have to figure this whole thing out.
That's right.
Daredevil number 2 is also coming out.
It is, and that was a good first issue.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Similarly, in Marvel Comics Presents #2 comes out. I recommend #1, and I was happy I did because I dug it. So check that out as well. Marvel Comics Presents #2. Great stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's got another cover by Arthur Adams, who, as we've talked about, is a titan.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to see more Arthur Adams, stay tuned this week for back issues, where you're going to see a good 45-minute chunk of our show is dedicated to a book drawn by Arthur Adams. And you found out, and I had to cut this part of the episode, but you're like, holy shit, this guy's pencils are freaking great.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, his pencils are modern day quality, but with latter day colors and inks.
Incredible, and in my opinion, ruined by the inks and colors that are put on them. Should have been enhanced pencils.
Yes.
Should have been enhanced pencils.
Yes, the books he did. Basically, they need to go back and just redo all of Arthur Adams' catalog.
Just do it all.
Just do it all over again because he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I agree.
Still around, by the way, and still drawing. So he's still here.
So tell him he's awesome.
So tell him he's awesome, because when I see him at New York Comic Con, his booth is always empty, and I'm like, why the hell isn't anyone here? You're awesome.
Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. X Volume 1 Love and Marriage Trade is coming out. Go pick it up.
Yes.
It is a great X title. And here's the thing. It's Gambit. It's Rogue. And then Deadpool shows up.
And Deadpool.
So come on.
Yeah.
Also, Savage Sword of Conan #2 is coming out.
Hey, wow, that was fast.
Yeah. That's very fast.
Oh, that's right. It was the week before.
Yeah, but it's still very fast.
No, I agree.
Where's Conan?
Yeah.
Conan!
At
least I get some Conan. I was kind of like, I didn't have any Conan.
Yeah, you had no Conan.
I had no Conan.
No Conan. Anything in Image?
If you're
They don't have that song anymore.
I know. It's Conan. If you've been keeping up with the Realm number 11 is coming up. I haven't, but not on purpose. I have to catch up.
And the Cold Spots trade.
Cold Spots trade is also coming out. Ice Cream Man #10 is coming out. All good things to check out.
There you go. From there, I just want to recommend our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/comicpop to get behind-the-scenes looks at what's going on. Early access to back issues. When I have a catalog built up right now, back issues will be out probably tonight for you guys out there in the Silver Age patronage. And all kinds of other fun stuff. We also get your opinions, and we're hoping to retool a signature show here on this channel, which will have direct connection to the Patreon, and maybe our community tab as well. We'll see. But,
that's right.
You gotta check it out to get all that information. And of course, if you haven't already, go pour over our channel, because we just gave the whole damn thing a facelift. At least up until November. I retconned the channel so that it always looked this nice. But check it out, because it's a lot of fun doing that. I spent a lot of time doing it.
Yes, you did.
And well, thank you for recommending the tools through which we did it. It was really, really useful and helpful. Is there anything else we need to recommend or talk about that's coming out? Nope. ZapCon.
That's it.
ZapCon is a Comic-Con that is happening through our store, the store that we attend, on March 30th. Come there and see me, and maybe more people. Who knows? It depends on who's available.
True.
But I'll be there. Ali Al-Ziyadi says Doomsday Clock #9 comes out March 6th, and #10 March 27th.
You're doing something else, too, coming up.
I am?
Yes. Did you mention the New York?
Oh, yeah. March 12th. March 12th, which is Tuesday night, go to the People's Improv Theater and see me on Comic Book Club. The trio of guys on the couch who talked about comics before we did.
Yeah.
Comic Book Club inspired this channel before this channel was a channel, and we used to go. We've gone, I think, twice before. I love visiting those guys. It's a live show that I don't know how much it costs to get in, but it's not much. But if you're in the New York area, go to the People's Improv Theater on March 12th and see me at Comic Book Club. Maybe Tiffany too. I think you're gonna go.
I'll be there.
But you might come on stage. We'll see.
Probably not.
No, you can hang out you can sit with Tiffany. But yeah, so hang out with us. Look forward to seeing you March 12th, March 30th, and more.
And more.
And more.
Dot.
Like whenever East Coast Comic Con is happening, I'll be there.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no table, but we're gonna go.
Yeah.
A lot of appearances. I like to do that.
Just show up places. Hey,
that's right.
I'm
you
here.
Never know. Yeah.
Ooh.
Like the mall. Oh, there he is. No one's ever done that. So anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time with another episode Off the Rack. And of course, stay tuned on this channel for more stuff. And of course, also go to the Purple channel, twitch.tv/CompopTV to watch her stream video games if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Last of Us, you're wrapping it up.
No, I'm not wrapping it up. I'm not even close to wrapping it up.
Oh.
But you should come hang out with me because I've never played the game before. So you're watching me
You're
experience this game for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, I literally didn't know anything about it. Did not know anything about it.
So there you go. That's it. So thanks a lot for hanging out. We'll see you then. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.